his years, he rejected this until he had achieved the accomplishments worthy of such a title. Oh, wait, scratch that. He immediately tattooed it on his body. He crumbled under the weight of expectations, but the league had invested so much money in him that they simply changed the story, that he not only met those expectations, but exceeded them. No single athlete has been publicly broken more times than him. He never stayed with a team long enough to develop an actual rivalry with another team, so his pundits pretended rivalries meant something else. Even then, his so-called rivals got the best of him, winning more times against him than being defeated by him. Not only has he not won more than the all-time greats, he hasn't even won more than the peers of his time. Peers that, unlike him, accomplished what they accomplished without team hopping. He is the king that never was, a media manufactured idol that the easily manipulated now bow to. No matter what evidence is provided, they will continue to bow to the king who never was.
I had to add Jordan with the I stand alone part at the end. I couldn't include it in the original because of copyright, which I ended up getting copyrighted like 20 hours later anyway for shit that said it was no copyright music. Oh, good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm with my man, Sports and Fitness Rants of the G-Men. How you doing today?
Yes, yes, yes. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another Sunday edition. Like my man, the Czar of video footage said, man, thank you to all you guys that continue to come through, man. The Giants are playing the Cowboys right now, so we'll see how bad they lose to the Cowboys. They haven't beaten the Cowboys in a long, long time, man. But, we'll see what happens, man. Shout out to everybody that continue to come through. I know some of you guys might think that we're late today, but we are not late today, man. We are coming at you guys at a different time now. We're going to be coming at this time probably more often because I have some coaching duties going on from now on Sundays. I'm coaching my son's flag football team. So my man, the Czar of video footage, has allowed me to push our Sunday show back to this time. So we're not late, ladies and gentlemen. But shout out to my man, Dakota Brock that came through. I see Renee out there, Hoop Oracle. Thank you very much. You guys are true supporters. Mountain Skies, thank you very much for coming through. I see my man Speem out there. Jean-Claude, is that Jean-Claude Van Damme? I see Jean-Claude out there. King Speech Road, shout out to you, man. Thank you very much. Clinton Williams, the Jesse Glad Saget, Go Fly, of course, always coming through. Chris Garcia, thank you very much. Like I said, the true supporters, you guys are always coming through, man, supporting the lives. Thank you very much. You guys know the deal, man. Let's roll.
You read
Xavier, what up? Spectre Fantasy, I see you, man. Jay Rockwell.
You read off some very familiar names, and I got to say,
the only one, the real Siberius, Jordan versus LeBron, Lomo 12. I must have missed y'all. So shout out to you guys. Kobe Studies.
I appreciate the fact that those are familiar names. I appreciate that you guys are consistently here. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate Robin shouting you out with the energy that you deserve.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I was not expecting the intro that you hit me with, AOH, man. That was sensational, man. Sensational work once again from the Czar of video footage. I know you guys appreciated the intro that he brought us, and the image that's burned in my mind from that commercial that you hit us with, man, is LeBron James being carried off the court with the cramps, man. To me, that says it all right there. The king being carried off the court, man. Come on.
As soon as I saw his commercial, I immediately thought of something to do, and then I started overthinking it, and then I thought, if I don't crank something out, I'm never going to. So it was too late. But At least, I mean, that didn't take long. That's the thing with LeBron James. He gives you so much material. I'm like, which of his failures am I going to include in this? Am I going to keep it nice and short, or am I going to give an actual history lesson of how goddamn terrible he's been? We may have Steam Engine joining us today. He said he wants to join. We'll see. And I want to thank the lowly one for kicking us off with our first super of the day. Thank you. We very much appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely.
Shout out to Bronny for narrating the commercial. Oh, McZuggins.
Not to McZuggins, always coming through. Like I said, you guys are true supporters out there. You guys always come with the facts. You guys always come with some information that maybe we weren't aware of, that we didn't know about. Like I said, you guys always have interesting points to make in the comment section. Thank you very much. That you guys always coming through, man.
I almost ended it by saying he is the forever queen instead of the king that never was. I couldn't decide.
I mean, it's so crazy when, I mean, think about, we talked about, words in songs, right? And in these kind of commercials, we talk oftentimes about how commercials are supposed to represent the player, right? And all these things. And in the commercial, they're talking about how LeBron James was never broke, right? Never broke, all these kinds of things. And then you look at LeBron James being carried off the court with the cramps. That's you literally being broke to the point where you were carried off, man. You got carried off. No one else had the cramps except for you.
I told Robin I feel like I need to make an apology to Wu-Tang Clan. I don't want to hate on Wu-Tang Clan, but like that background music didn't strike me as great. So that's why I used that first Zelda video game ever to kick it off. So I apologize. But tell
you, man, LeBron James ain't the Shogun Assassin. Y'all out there, you guys know Wu-Tang Clan. You guys know the Shogun Assassin, and LeBron James trying to bite off that.
It's not that serious. Another one of our regulars. Appreciate you. Robin, give him the energy he deserves.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not that serious. Always coming through. Like I said, representing. Thank you. Shout out to my favorite YouTuber duo at AOH. Your commercial was absolutely epic. That's right. You guys know, man, the Czar be bringing it.
Got a lot of topics.
Yep.
Jeez, so many topics.
Yeah.
You want to, let's I thought it was really sad that you said you don't even expect the Giants to beat the Cowboys today.
No, I don't. And that's because I'm not a true Giant fan or anything. But they haven't beat the Cowboys in a long time.
That can't be a good feeling.
No, not at all. Not at all. That's why, the Giants fans, we long, for the days of Eli Manning, or we long for the days of some kind of stability, because you're talking about Eli Manning, and the Giants were never like great with Eli Manning as far as like them being like one of those powerhouse teams. But with Eli Manning, he always gave you a fighting chance. It was so funny, like going into the playoffs with Eli Manning at quarterback. And like I said, he wasn't the Flash. He wasn't Peyton Manning, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees or Phillip Rivers, right? He didn't have the big name or necessarily all the hype behind him, the commercials and some of this stuff. But Eli Manning was steady. And he was consistent. He had the streak for all the consecutive starts. He was gritty. He was durable. Like I said, he would take the hits, take the licks, and always be there starting at quarterback. And every time that the Giants went into the playoff scenario with Eli Manning at the helm, I always felt as if we had a chance to win. A chance to win. And that's all you need in an NFL game, because you only need to win one time. You don't need to win the best 4 out of 7. You don't need to win the best 3 out of 5. You only need to win one game, one time. So you only have to be on and be good for that moment, that one time. And that's what Eli Manning was able to do certain times for the New York Giants, man.
It's not that I'm a huge Brady fan, but I was not cheering for the Giants when they actually, against all odds, defeated Brady with a fucking couple of insane catches. The thing is, it kind of immortalized Eli, and I wasn't so sure Eli deserved to be immortalized. And their coach was nearly fired earlier that same season that they ended up winning that Super Bowl. I'm sure you remember this.
Shout out to the Jesse Gladsack. I put his comment up here. He actually put it perfectly. Eli Manning was consistently mediocre, right? LMAO. But that is actually the truth about Eli Manning's career. He was never sensational for a season, really. We're like, damn, man, Eli Manning threw for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns or something like that. Eli Manning threw a lot of interceptions, even though a lot of those interceptions were often off-tip passes because Eli Manning was sometimes, off accuracy on some of these throws. But like I told you, the thing about Eli Manning is when it counted, when it mattered most, a lot of these times, he put the Giants in position to win these games by making a hellified throw, breaking a tackle in these moments, and putting the ball on the only place that his receiver could really get it. So when you talk about the Super Bowl against the undefeated New England Patriots, I remember at the press conferences, they have like those press things with the players, and they have interviews and all this stuff. I remember them interviewing Tom Brady, and they asked him about comments that Plexico Burress had made, basically guaranteeing or predicting the Giants were going to win the Super Bowl like 17-3 or whatever the score was, 17-10, or he predicted a score, Plexico Burress. And Tom Brady laughed and he said, we're only going to score 10 points. Because remember, they were the highest scoring offense. Him and Randy Moss were setting all these records, throwing the ball and receiving. And he started laughing and saying, we're only going to score 10 points. I'm not exactly if that was a true score that Plexico predicted, but he laughed it off. And guess what happened? They held him to 10 points. So it was really funny when you think about these kinds of moments after the fact.
Absolutely. Who else we got in the chat today?
We got everybody in the chat. I see we got over 100 people already out here. I see my man Lou out here. Like I said, I see you guys out here having the conversation. They're talking about some New York Giant quarterbacks. I saw it. Jeff Hostetler mentioned. Shout out to Jeff Hostetler, Phil Simms. What was the other guy? Mike Brown. I believe there was a guy. No, just kidding. Dave Brown. I remember Dave Brown running over Deion Sanders, man. This is no lie. I believe when Deion Sanders was on the Dallas Cowboys, I want to say. My man Dave Brown was the quarterback of the New York Giants. He ran Deion Sanders over, like straight flattened him out, man, going for a touchdown. It was mad funny, man. But yeah, the New York Giants don't have the big name quarterbacks that you would think of, or the lineage of big name quarterbacks. Shout out to Justin Messenger, who always comes through. Mentioned Kurt Warner. That's who Eli Manning took over for, Kurt Warner.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because Kurt Warner, he was on the end of his career, and Kurt Warner was getting jacked up. He was fumbling the ball a lot and stuff, and they brought Eli Manning in, young Eli Manning, and the rest was history, so to speak.
I was kind of hoping Warner was going to win that one when he was with the
Cardinals. Yeah, I was hoping for Larry Fitzgerald to win a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Man. Shout out to Larry Fitzgerald.
Exactly. That's
Class
exactly.
that guy.
Yep. Yeah. And who won?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that was a hellified catch. Who was that? Santonio Holmes?
Yeah.
Who made that catch in that Super Bowl? Maybe the guys in the chat remember. That was a hellified catch that he made in the back of the end zone, falling out of bounds. That won the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's a Birdman. I see Birdman out there always coming through. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I'm worried about the Giants, man, but right now, the Giants are winning 3-0. Shout out to the Giants, 3-0 early in the game.
I'm trying to find my notes. I had all my notes for the show today. There was
you want to talk about the rule change?
Sure. What rule change?
They changed that rule to allow the last second heaves to not count on the players' shots anymore.
Jesus Christ.
You didn't hear about that?
Does that mean LeBron's going to stop throwing it to his teammates when they have to do it?
Or just not take the shot in general. So, I mean, you didn't hear about it?
No.
Yeah, so apparently they made a rule change for this upcoming season that if you're heaving a last-second shot right at the end of a period or the end of a half, and you throw up a heave, it doesn't count for you as a miss. It goes to a team miss, not a player miss.
A team. Look, I can understand the argument for that. It's not absurd entirely, but it once again, it affects the past. We can't compare to the past anymore. I mean, do they not consider this? You should have thought of that from the beginning, I guess. But
you know what I wondered, AOH? When I heard the rule, I thought that So what they're saying is, okay, if you take a last second heave, whatever, you chuck it up, it's not going to go against you. You take a full court shot, blah, blah, blah. All right. But what I said is that if the player makes these shots, right, if you make the shot, then it's going to count on your resume, right? It's going to go towards your made field goals.
That's
it's
what
going to help
Bookmark
you.
just said.
So essentially it helps you but doesn't hurt you. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. It's, anyways, I was wondering, like, are they having like a committee? Does a committee sit together somewhere in some room somewhere and they think to themselves, hey, you know what the problem with basketball right now is, guys? You know what's hurting the game? The fact that these guys are heaving the ball from half court sometimes and it's going down on their resume. It's going down their stats. We're really worried about the last second heaves at the end of a quarter, at the end of a half. That's really the problem with the NBA right now. Like, you see what they're focused on? They're focused on freaking nonsense.
Yeah, it's like trying to put makeup on a pig. And I don't like saying that because I actually have come to respect pigs more than I used to. Very intelligent creatures. And better. And as the human race continues to go downward, I can't even really consider pigs that unattractive anymore. Shit, I almost sounded like a bestiality
I told you,
farmer
we're going downhill. We're like the movie Idiocracy. It's crazy how that movie is predicting how the human race continues to devolve into just, like I said, laziness. We're just devolving into a society that no one cares. Everyone's lazy. No one wants to earn anything. Everyone's a victim of something. Everyone's so sensitive now. Everyone's soft and frail. I mean, like, everyone's allergic to everything now. Come on, man. What the hell's going on here, guys? Like, what the hell, man?
Do you know the
walking around in freaking bubbles?
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking anyone that legitimately has an allergy or something like that. I'm not saying that at all, man. I'm just saying, you guys know what I'm saying, man. It gets ridiculous sometimes out here, man. Like, come on, man.
Are you familiar with Louis C.K.'s segment, Of Course But Maybe?
Yeah, I've heard some of his stuff. I know who he is.
Okay, he's got this segment of course. Of course, it's wrong to say these things, but just maybe. And he's like, maybe if we ignore nut allergies for a little while, the problem goes away on its own.
Hey, man, listen. Yo, what did we talk about in that live stream? What was that, last week or whatever it was? We talked about the comments from Jimmy Johnson in the Netflix documentary that came out about the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s. And we talked about how he was laughing and telling people to have asthma on another field. We were like just laughing. You can't say that kind of stuff now. Someone will be like, what? They'll sue you for being insensitive when he was literally saying, go die over there, not here. Yo, Speed, what up, man? This dude got the beard going. My man.
What up, gents? How's it going?
Yes.
Oh. Hint of masculinity there.
Robin, thank you for that compliment. I appreciate you, bro. We got to do more of that for each other.
Nah, you look smooth, man. It's good to see you, man. I've been asking about you, man.
I'm here. Crazy busy, but I'm here. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for having me. What was this? What were you guys just talking about?
We were just angry old ranting. We left sports entirely. We were talking about.
We were talking about the rule change, Speem, and then we kind of deviated from the rule change of the heave rule. I don't know if you heard about the heave rule, Speem, and we were commenting on that.
No.
Yeah,
well,
so
here.
what we just mentioned was the
Read
heave
this.
rule. Now
Read
the
this.
NBA. Go ahead, AOH, tell them.
Read this to summarize it, because Real Siberius, thank you for this super chat, and it brings Speem Engine up to speed. That heave rule is a joke. Gotta protect those fragile egos and stats. Remember, Curry said this is the most skilled era ever. Oh yeah, there's another fucking topic for the day, I guess. You know what's disappointing about that from Curry is that he keeps his mouth shut so much, and then when you open it, you fucking said that. Oh, and I can't resist. I'm still breaking down 2017, and I'm like, what, is anyone going to make a goddamn shot? I'm like, this is the most. I mean, even back then, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is a fucking brick fest, except for some layups, and they're even missing the layups. You guys aren't going to believe today's just one play segment if we have time to get to it, by the way. I'm starting to think LeBron James was responsible for 70 to 75% of all of the Warriors' points because his defense is that fucking bad. I'm not joking.
I know. I was just about to say I believe it, AOH.
I literally included as I'm going through it. I'm like, I'm starting to doubt myself. I'm like, am I really? I'm like, what am I seeing? Like, I sound like a conspiracy theorist. He can't be as bad as what I'm seeing. Is this?
Yes, I believe it. I believe it 100% when you talk about 2017, because by that time, LeBron James had already been starting to pick and choose when he was going to play defense. And when you talk about the 2017 NBA Finals and you watch that, once again, listen, you know the problem for LeBron James fans oftentimes is that we seem to know and be more informed on LeBron James' career than they actually are. They're not being honest with themselves. If you actually watch the 2017 Finals, which I actually did watch in entirety, not just the highlights of LeBron James and the stats he put up. If you watch those actual games, where you is obviously glaring to you. LeBron James switching every screen of Kevin Durant. This man wanted nothing to do with Kevin Durant in the finals that year. And this is part of the reason, guys, why if you look at Kevin Durant's numbers, he was historical in the finals. 50, 40, 90. What he averaged 35 points a game or some insane numbers he put up. Why? Because you had guys like Richard Jefferson, Speem's younger brother, out here guarding him, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
I feel like that entire thing was intentional just to get that out there. That's fine.
It was a long setup.
That was a lot. It was worth it. It was just to shit off. You're right. You're right.
No, man, I'm giving you props.
No, I know. So you know what's
finally
actually
look more masculine than Richard Jefferson today.
You know, after 40 years, my beard's starting to connect.
That's why he's your little brother.
Right. So you know what's funny is LeBron doesn't get crapped on enough for giving up that jumper to Durant that basically sealed the deal. They almost never bring it up. Well, I'm talking about the one that most casual fans see when KD comes down and hits that little 2-pointer just to seal the deal. What was that game?
Game 3.
4? Game 3. Game 3. Right.
He did that in 17 and 18.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, so what gets overshadowed by that is the fact that, you know, Golden State had all those offensive weapons. But the fact of the matter is to your point, both of you, LeBron was responsible for so many of those buckets because he wanted no smoke with anybody that was going to be involved in a potential highlight. Like if it's a switch and he may have to, you know, body clay in the paint or something like that, that's not going to make SportsCenter, right? But if someone comes down and hits a jumper in his face, he wants nothing to do with even being seen in that. And nobody really talks about that.
Something better change in the second half of game 1, because right now there's no offensive juggernaut. Nobody can make anything except for a layup. And here's something very interesting. The shots that Durant is making are against LeBron. The ones he's missing are not against LeBron.
Interesting.
Xavier, thoughts on the 1v1 tournament? Oh, yes. For the All-Star weekend. Yes, LeBron will not be participating in that. Would not have even in his prime. I'll admit, at this age, unless they are going to literally allow him to steroid play anyone he's against, no, it would be suicide for him to play this.
Listen, my immediate thought of the 1v1 tournament in the All-Star weekend is gimmick. That's my immediate thought is gimmick. Not saying it can't be good. It can't have some value. I'm not saying that at all. It could be interesting. But once again, who's going to be competing in it? Because that's the key here, guys. With all of this stuff, it's who's competing in it. The slam dunk contest was great, not because guys were just dunking. No, it's because of who those guys were that was dunking in the slam dunk contest. That's always been the key. The three-point contest is better when you have the legit three-point shooters, not some guys that think they can shoot. Oh, we got so-and-so in a three-point contest now because he made 100 threes last season. Good for freaking him, man. Everyone made 100 threes last season, man. So who gives a damn? You're not a three-point shooter. No one wants to see you shoot threes. So once again, the 1v1 tournament has maybe some appeal, even though I'm saying it's a gimmick because that's really what it is. You're just trying to throw something out there to make people watch the All-Star weekend. But who's going to compete in it? Like you said, the big-name guys are going to be out there going 1v1. Are they willing to put their reputations and egos on the line in those moments? Because that's often the problem for these guys. 1v1 is an ego check.
That's a great point.
Because if you lose 1v1, you take a hit, right? It's a personal ego hit.
Great point.
Can I piggyback off that real quick? Just real quick. Well, I'm going to anyways. I don't know. I'm asking permission. I don't need your permission. I think anybody that watches that tournament is just going to be checking for Kyrie.
Hey, how's that permission statement going?
Oh, damn.
I think you do. I think you do.
Dang.
Would you like to come back in and behave yourself?
Yes.
I'm going to be real fucking demeaning now.
Nazar strikes again.
Okay, just so the audience knows, this man just tried to silence me. That's fine. We'll move past it. Now I forget what I was saying. Kyrie. Yeah, most people are going to be checking for Kyrie versus whoever, right? Because what we watch him do with the basketball is nuts. But in a one-on-one situation, who can really stay in front of him in an open court? It would be the quickest tournament ever. Everything else is just going to be dudes elbowing each other to get out the way, doing these weird, what used to be called and one moves, and just doing nonsense. To Robin's point, it's about spectacle. And I think Zuggins put this in the chat. It's a highlight sport now. And when you have the whole commissioner saying this is a highlight sport, I mean, if that wasn't the stamp on this man needs to go, that being the commissioner, I don't know what else to tell you. You're calling your sport that you want a certain age demographic to watch. You're calling it a highlight sport when we're already in times where people have 15 seconds of attention and then they're done. So let's double down on your product. It's backwards times.
Great segue, Beam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And before we go all the way there, I want to say praise the Dawn. Thank you for your super. We're surrounded by non-player characters. I think that's what MPCS is saying. Robin, I actually would like to come back to your point that it actually really brought more than we ever considered to these competitions, that you knew who the people were. Of course it does. Of course it does. I mean, it sounds obvious once you say it, but of course you want to see, oh shit, I've been following this guy. Let's see how he does in this. Not, oh, we're introducing someone I've never fucking heard of before. Yay.
Yep.
Now, to what Speem segued us to, Commissioner Gargoyle's comments. With the soundbite, I actually was a little bit confused if he was praising that it's a highlight sport and you can, or he was blaming lack of views on the fact that people can just go and look at the highlights and that's a reason that they aren't tuning in. See, I'm going to leave you guys in the comments. Tell me, because I honestly thought, because most people said
that's a good point, AOH,
that he was calling it a highlight sport, and no, it's about more than highlights. But I thought he was actually blaming the lack of viewership on, oh, people can just go and look on their phones really quick at a highlight. But again, you could use that excuse for every sport. Every sport has highlights, and they aren't suffering the way that the NBA is. So even if we went that direction, it's ridiculous. But which direction was it? Are we clear on which direction of his excuse making he was going? It was an excuse, but which excuse was he making?
You said you have the audio, right?
Well, I've heard it. I don't have it queued up.
Oh, okay. That's such a solid point. None of the other major sports have like these weird little nuanced issues that could be fixed if the leadership would just get it under control. One of the things I was going to bring up was the idea that in today's league, if you lose one player, your team they've already accepted defeat, like during the off season. And I can't think of any other sports that are like that, where you lose one pivotal piece and just the whole next season's a wash. You're already preparing for next season. The Pacers, for example, and we'll get into it later, but they're already talking about when Halliburton comes back, then what do we do? Okay, but what about this upcoming season? Don't you want to try to build off of that? Like, you guys will probably never be bigger than you are right now. Don't you want to try to build on that, not worry about Tyrese Halliburton coming back? Or Jason Tatum, right? Like now it's all on Brown's shoulders. Let's see what he can do. Yeah, but what about the rest of the team? These are billion-dollar franchises. You lose one player, and now the whole season's a wash? Like, your whole city's just supposed to chalk it up? Like, that's an NBA thing, and it's weird to me.
That's a good thought there, Speem, about the impact. You know, and this is also a good reason why we often talk about how basketball is different in some ways than other team sports, because of the impact that one player can have on your team, whether it's good or bad. A superstar on your team can make a huge difference, can take you to the promised land sometimes, can get you, to where your team needs to go. Whereas in football or baseball, one great player can't really change your organization like that. Yeah, they can have an impact, but not like a superstar player. Like you said, if your superstar player goes down in the NBA, then your season's pretty much, I mean, look at the Philadelphia Sixers. They tanked for all of these years for the rebuild, right? For the guys that they brought in, the Ben Simmonses, the Joel Embiids, right? They brought these guys in for that whole thing, right? The trust the process type deal. And now look at it. Ben Simmons has been gone, man, and Joel Embiid can't play back-to-back games. The man can't even play 50 games. So, I mean, what are we doing here? They're going to rebuild again, it looks like. I mean, this guy's done. Joel Embiid is washed up. He's done, man. He's done. He's almost like Greg Oden. But, he's been able to play a little bit more than Greg Oden was. So, yeah, a lot of this stuff, it's crazy how these things impact the NBA teams.
He certainly made more money than Oden.
Yeah, absolutely. What was crazy about Adam Silver is like, he still doesn't seem to understand the problems in the NBA. Like we talked about the 1 versus 1. He had input on this. He was part of this decision to bring a 1 versus 1 kind of a tournament style into the All-Star game. But that's not the problem with the All-Star game. It's not that it's lacking something as far as another, I said gimmick. It's not the NBA's not lacking gimmicks. The NBA never needed gimmicks. You didn't need an NCAA tournament. You didn't need a play-in tournament. These people, they're not putting the ownership on the players to show up. So when we talk about all these other things, Adam Silver is talking about, it's a highlight sport and, talking about casual fans and this and that. And, you sometimes will see people talk about, you guys are not watching the games, us old heads. It's not necessarily that we're not watching the games. It's that you can't be consistently watching. It doesn't hook you. It doesn't bring you in and keep you there. I'll sometimes put a game on. I'll never forget that day. I was watching a game. I think it was the Denver Nuggets and the New York Knicks. And we're watching the game. And my wife is sitting there right next to me. And she just happens to be, paying attention to what's going on. And we're on the couch. And she's watching the game. And she's like, this is like, what's going on here? Like, even she didn't really understand what was going on because all she was seeing in the moment that she's watching it for the 5 minutes they say she looked was nothing but guys chucking up these long-range weird shots that didn't really look like basketball to the casual person or someone who remembers basketball from another time. So when we talk about people watching the game and you're flipping around and you see a basketball game on now, I'll keep it on. You watch it, and then all of a sudden you're like this. And then all of a sudden you're like this. And then you're like, oh, man, and you flip it off. That's the honest facts. That's not me hating on these guys. That's not me trying to be like, oh, these guys are trash. No, you get tired of watching these fools go out there and everyone's just throwing them misses. And this is any given moment in any given game these days.
Hey, you guys, before Jim comes on, can I just express some concerns about YouTube? My subscriptions are rising. My viewership is plummeting. Even the videos that people give me a lot of compliments on, I'm just not getting any. And even though this is a side thing for me, the time I do put into it takes time. And I'm starting to really be concerned about YouTube. And I'll give you an interesting example. My Isaiah Stewart getting elbowed by LeBron video just got flagged for violence.
What?
Do you think that the NBA's original video showing him doing this was flagged for violence?
What is going on here?
Are you able to go back and check that?
What do you mean You mean see if NBA's was?
Yeah.
I guess if I want to go waste time seeing what the disparity in it is, but I just think it's kind of, I mean, there's shits, but come on.
Well, I'm going to get flagged too because I posted a short video of David Robinson literally getting knocked out unconscious by Karl Malone in a game by one of his elbows.
I don't know.
It was like a 20, 30-second clip.
All I can tell people is that I'm not making this up. And it's getting concerning.
Can I tell you what's funny about that? And this is not a joke, but it's funny. If you did like a top 10 LeBron drives to the basket or something like that throughout his entire career, that's more likely to get flagged for violence than any other NBA highlight reel. Because if an elbow is being flagged for violence, right, then why even show the sport now at all? Let alone so-called highlights from, someone who spends 99% of their offensive load in the paint elbowing people and shoulder rushing people and choke slamming and you know, all that stuff, stone cold stunner and all of it. But yet that gets put out as a highlight. So that just shows you, AOH, how crooked and obvious it is now. That's insane to me. That's
so you're
wild.
saying that it's almost become a typical LeBron James play, but because I presented it as a negative, it got flagged. The original won't.
Correct. I mean, and I'll go ahead real quick. I'll shout out Robin real quick. He's consistently putting out fitness videos online, right? We're not that far off from his stuff getting flagged as violent because he's running too fast or lifting too aggressively or shouting too hard. Like, how do you that last one might be, yeah, you might want to switch that one up anyways. But that how do you determine, like, who's deciding, whose opinion gets to decide like that? That's nuts to me.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff is real weird, man. I don't understand any of this stuff. I've never been too concerned with, you know, how this stuff goes about, or, you know, the makings or the understandings behind the scenes. I remember, like I said, I was demonetized last year because they said I was, you know, stealing content and posting it to my channel. I was using someone else's content, and I had no clue I was doing anything. They said I was using the Shaq'd in a Fool series as my own, so to speak, they said. And all I was doing was making a laugh of LeBron James because he was a Shaq'd in a Fool MVP, and I had posted some of the videos that he had won the MVP for. And, you know, I got demonetized for this kind of stuff. So you really never know. Like you said, Steam, I've seen crazy videos on YouTube. I've seen all kinds of violent stuff, man. I mean, there are people who have videos on here that are self-defense, that have street fighting videos that show people fighting in street fights and things happening. I mean, what are we really doing here? It really doesn't, like I said, nothing adds up in the world. You know, I always say, you know, I remember one time someone telling me, you know, because I say things like, oh, I'll never have money, I'll never be rich. And sometimes people will be like, oh, you shouldn't say that, man. You shouldn't think that way, blah, 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 blah. Listen, man, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Some people go viral, some people don't. Some people are walking down the beach, man, and get noticed by a modeling agency and become famous. Some people get noticed being just walking in the mall. That's the way the world works. Some of us are not meant to be anything like that. We're meant to be the people who keep society going round and round. The burden falls on the everyday common folk, man, not the celebrities and the 1% of people in this world. The burden's on us. That's why a lot of times when you talk about how things go around this world, we're the ones holding the world up, but we get all the crap. But we're not all meant to have the money like that. So I'm not downplaying myself or shortchanging my value by saying I'm not going to be rich, I'll never have money like that. I'm not chasing that. That's not the life that I'm striving to be. Yo, shout out to all you guys coming through. Smash my man Mike Lowry, Classic Basketball DVDs, Spectre Fantasy, Dana Green. Thank you very much, guys.
So good
Robert,
to have.
we used to watch crackheads fight on YouTube.
Now Spino opens up. Where were you during the dead air time? Where were you in the dead air time? Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize I got permission to speak again.
I got two co-hosts.
Crackheads fighting in the streets. Crackheads fighting on the streets. That wasn't demonetized back in the day. There was a top 10 of crackheads fighting in supermarkets. That was a thing. Bum fights. I'm not saying I'm not laughing at it. I laughed at it back then, yes, but now I feel bad about it. But that was a thing. Bum fights, you made money doing that. Jerry Springer made money. You had Klansmen fighting black midgets, and nobody said anything about it. They just went out there and did it, and they made money from it because the time and the place and the circumstance, Robin, to your point, was right. Sorry, AOH. I've been sitting on that one for a second. Go ahead, my bad.
Oh, well, thanks for sitting on it also during the dead air. That might have been a good time to fucking talk.
It's your show. Be better. Have no dead air.
Okay. Oh, you guys are cracking me up, man. You guys are cracking me up.
I got to tell you, bum fights cracked me up the first time I saw it because he was imitating the crocodile hunter and what they do to the poor animals. But even back then, I was like, this is pretty harsh. This is pretty messed up. But maybe the bigger thing is that it opens the door to where we might go. Hey, these people got away with doing this. And as Speem said, I can't even find the actual content that I want on YouTube usually because I have to go through never-ending violence, never-ending people hurting each other, people hurting animals. Like we're a messed up species. It's like, can I get some actual information about the animal instead of just how to kill? the animal? Or can I find anything that isn't people just beating each other up because somebody disrespected them?
Exactly.
Let me
Wait.
read the real Siberius. We're gonna fall behind on super chats, and Jim is gonna be here. Oh, Jim is here. Hey, okay. So read this, and then we'll bring in our knowledge segment from Jim.
All right, absolutely. Shout out to the real Siberius, always coming through again, man. Thank you very much. Imagine being such a terrible commissioner. You make Roger Goodell look great. It is a sad state of affairs we live in. The NBA is dying. Absolutely. Shout out to the real Siberius, man. Yeah.
Great point. Great point.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you
NBA's
for that.
dead.
Go and continue on with Praise the Dawn, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Shout out to Praise the Don, too. Another guy always coming through, man. Like I said,
True.
you guys truly humbling, man. Even when LeBron retires, he'll still be around because of his bundle of sticks, sun blazing. Sticks, sun blazing the NBA. LeBron has tarnished the NBA forever.
Ooh.
That's right. His bundle of sticks.
Bundle of sticks. Very, very smooth operator. Praise the Dawn.
Praise the Don always got some fun.
Just think about it for a second, and just think about it. And move past it.
Am I reading too deep into it, or is
it's about as surface level as you get?
Okay. Jesus Christ!
Shout out to Praise the Don.
Shout out to Praise the Dawn. But to the point, if this is freedom of speech land, like everybody says it is, right, however you feel about it, you should be able to speak about that without fear of backlash.
Hey, you know whose channels aren't suffering? The people that are talking about what's allowed to be talked about. LeBron and
ironically, the people that can't speak fluent English.
Yeah. Austin Casey. What did you just say? That's his. Okay. Moving on. Austin Casey. Now with social media, you can watch everyone fight for free. Good point.
Touche.
I don't know if you should want to. Maybe that's the deeper issue. It's that
you have YouTube promoting YouTube fights. There were YouTubers that were fighting each other. Wow. So I don't even understand how you can get mad at people posting videos of anything physical when you have YouTubers who are famous now, who are fighters now. It's crazy when you think about some of these people. A lot of these fitness people that I know, these fake fitness celebrities, these fake fitness influencers, they fight each other now, and they get a lot of money, man, and get all this stuff from fighting.
Robin, look at Jake Paul. Sorry, my bad. Look at Jake Paul.
Yeah.
I feel like it was an eternity ago that the next bullshit Mike Tyson fight was announced, and I just thought, what?
Oh, he's fighting again?
Yes, another fucking fake.
Yep.
What? I'm sorry, or real. Sorry, don't.
But listen. I know you want to. I know you want to move forward, but just think about this. A decade ago, none of us imagined the brother of a Disney star fighting Mike Tyson in what people called a legitimate fight. I never would have imagined that in my wildest dreams of dreams that happening. And not only is it happening, it's like the baseline. It's real. It's the reality of things.
Hoops Oracle, 49 years old here. I got you beat. And we now have, and let's respect Jim's time because he gives us some of his family time. Jim, what do you got for us today?
What's up, fellas? Just came off vacation and the world's gone crazy. I heard what you guys were saying about the freedom of speech thing, and I do agree with Steam Engine. I think you should be able to say whatever you want, and I like that because then you find out who people really are, and I think that goes a long way. So if somebody's a piece of shit, you'll know that by the way they, you know what I mean? The way they talk on social media and all that. Everybody thinks it's a safe space, but these days you can be tracked down no matter who you are. You know what I mean? Your job could be at risk, your whatever. So it is free speech, but
don't be a Karen.
Watch what you say. You know what I mean? People will know who you are. So that's my 2 cents.
What a fucked up world.
Oh, it is.
Can we get subtitles for when Robin yells?
Celebrating a man's death. There's been 2 people that I was actually happy. That was Osama bin Laden and Pablo Escobar. I think there's a big difference here.
Jim, what do you got for basketball?
All right. Yeah, let's no more of that. All right, so I did a video a couple days ago. Pretty simple criteria, really, but it's just amazing how our boy always seems to fall short on these, and that is how many MVPs was on a team that won at least 60 games. So you had a great individual season and you're on a great team. Now, some people were pushing back on this and saying just because you won 60 games doesn't mean your team was super great or whatever. But if you're talking one team against another one historically, sure. But for that season, you can't deny if you win 60 games that you're not a good team. There's no way to deny that. I don't care what your team is made out of. There's no way to deny that. Well, anyway, there's been 37 MVPs who were on 60-win teams, and 19 of them won the championship. The players of note, Bill Russell, he was 2 for 2 in that scenario. Will Chamberlain was 1 for 2. Kareem, 2 for 3. Moses Malone, 1 for 1. Larry Bird, 2 for 3. Magic Johnson, 1 for 2. Shaq and Tim Duncan were 1 for 1. Steph Curry, 1 for 2. Michael Jordan, 4 for 4, and LeBron James, 1 for 3. So he's the only player who's got 2 failures under that scenario. There's no one else, unless you're talking like Karl Malone. But even Karl Malone, there's a caveat. He didn't actually win 60 games in 1999. It was a strike-shortened season. So, and Giannis too, same thing. So really, he's the only guy in that scenario with 2 failures. I mean, what can I say? And Michael Jordan, a perfect 4 for 4. No other player even has 3 of those. And he's got all 4, won the championship every year. There you go.
Robin, you go first.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, man, Jim coming through, hitting us with some research that only Jim can really hit you with, man. He finds these details, these things that people are not thinking about. And I want to also tie it into a video that you just dropped today. The research you did as far as Michael Jordan and the 1-9 without Pippen and the 80s Chicago Bulls and the win differential between the first seed and the 8th seed in the first round of the playoffs during those times. It was very interesting, the numbers and the things that you came up with, and we related to what you're talking about right now, man. When you talk about the 60-win teams, right? And you're talking about LeBron James and what he's doing in the conditions that he's playing with. So they'll say LeBron James ain't got no help. But dude, your team won 60 games 2 times, back-to-back seasons in 2009 and 2010. Yep. Back-to-back 60-win seasons. Like you said, Jim, you don't win 60 games by accident. 50 games, all right, maybe your team won 50 games, but they weren't really that good. They won 51, 52 games, but you won 60 games. That's not easy to do. There haven't been that many 60-win teams over the last 10 years, guys, if you look at the NBA seasons. So it's not easy. So what you're saying is that you won 60 games. Your team was really good. They were a pretty good team. Not that they're historically great or one of the all-time great teams, but they're a really good team. But all of a sudden, when that team is playing in the playoffs, now they're not that good. Now, all of a sudden, LeBron James doesn't have enough help. So what you're highlighting here, Jim, is what we've talked about many times in relation to Michael Jordan. They blame Michael Jordan for losing 1-9 without Pippen under conditions he had no business winning under. If the 86 Bulls beat the 86 Celtics in the first round, that would have gone down as the greatest upset in the NBA's history as of note. As of note. Yep. There would have been no greater upset, guys. That would have been like, oh, yeah, the Bulls beat them. They were a good team, and, Celtics were okay. Yeah. No, that would have been epic proportionally bad. Larry Bird would have been running to Boston. There would have been wholesale changes. Guys would have got traded. There would have been, the coach would have been fired if they would have lost to the Chicago Bulls. But LeBron James losing to the O-line Magic is not a failure by LeBron James or the Orlando Magic by being them. It wasn't a huge upset. Like that, the Cavaliers were the favorite to win that series, man.
I want just one thing because of the excuses that LeBron fans will make about, the only reason that they won that many was because LeBron was carrying the team. As insane as Michael Jordan's regular season stats were, he elevated in the postseason. LeBron didn't. So you don't have the guy who can elevate in the postseason. Even if you want to believe the lie that those Cavs teams had the winning records that they had only because of LeBron, which already is not true. Why does your king go backwards in the playoffs? With the exception of its 23 seasons. He's had a couple of standout games in the playoffs. Well, who in the hell can't you say that about?
They won 66 games, AOH. 66.
Yes. Yeah.
Not 66 games. That's not all LeBron James, man. You can't turn around and say that Michael Jordan needed Scottie Pippen, but all of a sudden you're going to tell me LeBron James carried an NBA team to 66 wins, but then when they got to the Eastern Conference Finals, they weren't good enough? That's insane to make that claim.
No, he's right. I mean, that season in particular, they were 39-2 at home, 26-4 against the West. Think about that. 26-4 against the West.
Yep.
They sweep the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. They get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Mo Williams hits a 3-quarter shot at halftime. They go up 15 at halftime of game 1, and you lose that series in 6. What sucker would have taken that bet? Come on, man. That's a pure choke job. In 2010, I thought they were even better. They had Mo Williams, they had Anton Jameson, they had Anderson Varejao. That is a very good core. No matter what Shannon Sharp and all these fools try to say now, those guys were good. That was a nice core to have, but they just fall apart as usual. Their leader couldn't make it happen. I mean, going to Boston Garden, that team was, if you're going to call the Pistons old in 91, then you got to call Boston old in 2010, 11, 12, because they were older than the Pistons were at that point. It's a joke.
They were old when they came together. This idea that they're one of the original super teams is laughable to me. Paul, don't get me wrong, Paul Pierce is great, but more people know him for shitting himself and being, wheelchaired off the court than they do for him being a champion. And that's the fact of it, because he ran into a league that was at that point governed by LeBron. Kevin Garnett's mostly known for shouting in people's faces and being one of the best power forwards of all time. But by then, he was cool. He was decent. Don't get me wrong, right? But Jim, I want to circle back to something to maybe kind of go back to my point about players being so important. Not since maybe his early Cleveland days, I feel like if LeBron is injured or sidelined, is it going to that harshly hurt your team?
Exactly.
Right? Because, he goes out, well, you still have Kyrie. He goes out, you still have Kevin Love, right? If Giannis goes out right now, what happens to Milwaukee? Right? If KD for the Warriors, when he goes out, what's happened? Steph goes out, what happens? That to me is substantial greatness. If your team loses you and you have no shot, going back to like your whole next season's a wash, then what are we still talking about? And actively right now, if LeBron is sidelined, they still have Luka, skinny Luka, as a matter of fact. And why are we still talking about this man's greatness, where if he sits out, it actually almost helps the team? How is this, when you look at it from
it's not an almost
bird's eye view? Thank you. Okay, you're right.
I've made too many videos in which you actually watch the Lakers improve with him on the bench. It's not a joke. It's not a recent history thing. It's any game I fucking decide to dissect.
Right. What other all-star or player, what other starter can you say that about, let alone somebody in the GOAT conversation? When he's off the court, the team is better. And it's been that way for the last maybe 15 years. And I'm being generous by saying 15 years, because as long as he's played with Anthony Davis, every single one of those seasons, even when they won their little fake ring, it was because of Anthony Davis, not him. So, and that's, as you don't even have to be a fan of basketball. If you have common sense, you can see that. Like in the workforce, you can see that. If you fire the weak link and the company gets better, guess what? We made the right decision.
Yeah, I remember in 2011, Chris Bosh had already signed with Miami. I was excited at the prospect of seeing the East with Bosh and Wade on Miami, because Boston was still around, Chicago was still around, and, the Cavaliers are coming off a 61-win season. I'm thinking, wow, we're going to have some really good East playoffs. And LeBron blew the whole thing up. I think he was afraid of it at that point. He's like, oh, man, Bosh and Wade together. I think he'd rather join it than beat it, and Durant did the same thing. That just says a lot about somebody's character. Never would those guys in the 70s, 80s, 90s, never would they have pulled this shit. They never would have did it. I guarantee it. No way. Because everybody wanted to beat Jordan. They don't want to join him. They wanted to beat him. Ask any of those guys, Ewing, Miller, Malone. Ask any of those guys. They'll tell you there's not even a thought in their mind to do that. Because not only does it upset the balance of the league, they know that they want to beat them. They want to be the guy to take the Bulls down. They all said it. Barkley, every one of them.
Hey, Go Fly, if I can follow up on this, which early LeBron James games? Because let's remember, he didn't make the playoffs his first 2 seasons. So usually in order to help narrow down the category, I look at playoffs. So that's
interesting that you brought that up, AOH, because that's the interesting thing when they bring up Michael Jordan losing, early in his career, and what Jim was talking about in the video that he just dropped. The 1-9 without Pippen stuff that we're always hearing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to say that he was 1-9 without Pippen if he wasn't making the playoffs, would he? So
exactly.
When they try to use it as a negative on,
he should have just fucking lost he should have lost worse. In order to be comparable to LeBron, Jordan should have lost worse.
Yeah.
Don't by a miracle make it into the playoffs and then go against the greatest team in NBA history, at least arguably the greatest team in NBA history, because now that's the biggest piece of evidence against you, according to these morons.
Yep.
How dare he not beat the 1986?
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do me a favor. Tell me, what was the win differential? I can't remember the exact number that you had in the video that you just did.
The Celtics swept almost everyone.
Like 17 or 19 games?
In 86, the differential was 41 points. So it would have been like 13 and 2/3 points. And then in 87, it was only 8 points a game.
No, but Jim, remember you told me that you were looking for the series where the seeds that were playing against each other, the win differential was a certain win differential you were looking at. You were trying to relate it to the win differential between the Bulls and I think the Celtics or some of the teams. I can't remember what number you said in the beginning of the video, but you said that you were looking for a certain win differential between the teams that were playing against each other. But the one thing that you highlighted that I wanted to
19 wins. Because that was the difference. Games. Yeah, 19, right.
You'll see, think about this. If you look at if you look at Jim's video, you go watch Jim's video later on. He 19 wins, guys, is the difference. Go look how many teams played against each other with that big of a differential. So what that's showing is how great the top-notch teams were of the 80s, guys. When we talk about when Michael Jordan came in 85, he's not playing against so-so teams. The top teams that were in the league, most of them were in the East. But these are historical great teams. You had the 89 Pistons on there. They're one of the historical great teams. A top 10 team all time. You had the 86 Celtics on there. We all know them. The 87 Celtics are just as great or almost as great as the 86 Celtics. You had the Lakers on there. The championship Lakers. You had so many great teams and formidable teams that were on that list. The Sixers with Dr. J and Moses Malone. I mean, come on. It was insane.
The Bucks.
We need a reverse. We need a reverse look at Jordan. How much would he have to lose to equal LeBron?
That's a great comment. That is a fantastic comment.
There you
go.
Yep. Almost incalculable. I don't know if there's a number for that.
Shall we move on to just one play?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Sure. Yeah.
I love that segment.
Guys, this is just, seriously, I'm not even joking. This is the last play before I turned off the editing machine while going through 2017 NBA Finals.
An editing machine? What's an editing machine? You mean your computer?
My computer and editing software.
Editing machine. Holy Christ, how old are you? Your machine, your editing machine. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
Dick.
Bye.
He's gonna mute you again.
I know. He's gonna kick me out.
Can I make
the Giants are winning 13-3, by the way. Giants are winning 13-3. Come on, Giants.
Fantastic. Let's wrap this up so Robin can go enjoy watching the Giants win their only win of the season.
No rush. I DVR'd it just in case.
Okay. It's time yet again for another episode of AOH's Just One Play. I'm still looking at the 2017 NBA Finals. I'm not through the first half of the first period because I have so many examples. Let me repeat. This is not cherry picking. This is not a one-off. It's exhausting how many times I have broken down LeBron James blowing defense so far just in the first half of this game. Here's one example. Tell me what you think.
And yet again, Durant easily goes away from LeBron. LeBron has no interest in fighting through to stick with his man. But who does LeBron end up guarding?
You screened LeBron James!
I mean,
Oh,
You
yeah.
screened him!
I remember this.
No one touched him!
There's got to be an alarm or something for Robin if he's going to do that. I have to mentally prepare myself for when he shouts like that.
It's fine because I'm just gonna let my pre-recorded version play this time. Usually I try and talk over it and lower the sound. This time I'm just gonna play my actual pre-recorded version.
Insane!
So you guys interrupt anytime you want to, even if it includes screaming.
come on.
Made
How
my
many
screen
times
shake.
is this going to happen? In fact, it's happening so often now I'm getting suspicious of myself. I'm like, okay, come on. You're not being fair. Something's up here. There's no way he blows it this many times. But let's rewind. Let's walk through this. Okay, at the beginning of the play, you can see Durant and LeBron are matched up, but Durant is about to run through traffic in order to try and create some space. Kevin Love, who is accustomed to people actually playing defense, steps backwards to let LeBron go through and stay with his man. Nope, LeBron has no intentions of doing that. And you're going to be able to argue that maybe there should have been a switch. Until you get to here, and I've got you. You know why? Because who is LeBron going to pick up? Kevin Love's guy? No, he's trying to pick up Steph, apparently, which may...
I'm going to interrupt myself. Do you guys see how big the gap is that LeBron could have gone through?
That's like a freeze frame on how not to run that pick and roll D.
And don't throw any chats on the screen during this, or it'll shrink it. I don't want anyone to not be able to see this.
Which makes no sense because Kyrie is sticking with Steph.
He would have just got in the way. LeBron, he was just going to get in the way. He had to switch there. Come on.
But listen, from an on-court awareness, how would you ever let Love be on Durant in any scenario ever?
Right. I'm saying there's no other option for LeBron but to switch here because he's only going to get in the way of Kyrie. You know, who's Kyrie going to guard then? It doesn't make any sense to do that.
This is difficult to even look at, just the freeze frame.
What you're saying is that he shouldn't have switched, Jim. You keep saying he should switch.
Well, he should get on. Right now, it looks like Curry is covered. So what good is he doing behind the guy? He's just going to get in his teammate's way. He needs to go back to Durant now. Like I don't understand why that's the only play here. There's no other option.
You're leaving your big man. You're leaving your big man in front of arguably the best offensive player in the best offensive player in the game at this time. You have your center on him.
Right. It's just crazy. Go ahead.
Kevin Love's man, by the way, I'm getting to it, is Draymond, who's just standing there. And Draymond doesn't even have to insert himself into the play because of how fucking bad LeBron is. Right. I'll just stay up here. Fuck it.
It's not
they don't need
the Cavaliers' default plan to switch on any of these. It just means LeBron doesn't want to stick to Durant. Number two, LeBron can't cover Curry, not unless he's fouling him. Curry will go right past him. And going back to what I said in the first place, LeBron should be picking up Kevin Love's man if he's going to do this. Kevin Love dropped back so that LeBron could continue through to Durant.
Right.
Kevin Love's guy is still at the top of the key. And now, because LeBron is sitting there doing nothing, I repeat, nothing, guarding no one,
he's guarding the ref.
And Kevin Love both suddenly have to be like, oh shit, how do we correct this?
Who looks bad here? You understand? LeBron has removed himself from the situation, and now the casual fan can be like, oh, Kevin Love or Kyrie is who effed up here. No, you got two defenders that are like, how the shit did this happen? And how do we somehow magically stop it now?
And AOH, going back to on-court awareness, you have two of the greatest shooters in the history of the league on the perimeter. This should have never even happened to begin with. You got Draymond Green just sitting there, right? But you have
LeBron
two
doing
automatic
right
guys. Nothing, standing there talking to the ref.
What's he doing?
That's my point. Why would he stand there? Don't you think anybody else? No other option but to go to Durant. There was just nothing else to do, or stand like he's doing now. It just boggles the mind.
How did
he's not getting chewed out? He's not getting chewed out after this play. You know that.
Oh,
no one's going to say it was a lapse in his judgment.
No.
You know, I said earlier, I brought up the fact earlier that LeBron James in the 2017 NBA Finals was ducking screens. And I said LeBron James was not guarding Kevin Durant. And I told you guys, I watched these games. I want to remind everybody in the chat, the weird LeBron James fans that might one day watch this live stream, maybe they're out there right now. I'm not lying to you ever about LeBron James. I watch these games. You guys are not as informed on your favorite player's career as I seem to be, because I witnessed these games live. I watched it and I saw what happened. LeBron James was literally not touched by a single player. He wasn't touched by anyone. He actually touched his own player. No one set a screen on him. No one pushed him. No one bumped him. They didn't even do a flare screen. No one rubbed him. Nothing. And all of a sudden, LeBron James ends up in no man's land. How do you end up in no man's land in an NBA Finals when the guy that you're guarding is one of the greatest players of all time? Your direct competition. This would be like Michael Jordan ducking Clyde Drexler in 1992. He didn't duck Clyde Drexler. He got cooked by Clyde Drexler in some of those games. I saw Clyde Drexler dunk on Michael Jordan in several of those 92 Finals games. You know why that was? Because he was actually trying to guard Clyde Drexler out there. And Clyde Drexler was a great player. LeBron James did not take the challenge.
It almost sounds like you're saying LeBron was looking for opportunities to get out of guarding Durant. Because like you said, there was no real reason to suddenly be like, oh, we better switch here.
It looks like he's putting in effort. It looks like he's putting in effort when he does it that way. Just like his chase down blocks, just like his blocks off the weak side. It's because he's not playing defense on the man he's supposed to be playing.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. I get the point you're making, but he actually just dropped back and then did it zilch. So
that's true. That's true.
I'm not getting the impression that he's giving effort.
Once again, we go back to the quote-unquote high IQ of LeBron James. Can anyone at home tell me, watching this play, none of us are ever claiming that we played in the NBA, that we're better at basketball than these guys, but all of us out here watching this play, can anyone tell me, does that look like a high IQ play from LeBron James? Regardless of us not knowing what the Cavaliers' game plan was, whatever they were preaching in the pregame before for defense, I don't care what you want to tell me. Is anyone tell me it's smart to leave the best basketball player on the court, Kevin Durant, the best shooter out there? You have Steph Curry out there, Kevin Durant. You're going to leave Kevin Durant wide open? You're just going to leave him and not guard him? LeBron James in his mind should know, yo, man, I can't let Kevin Durant go off in this series. I got to be that dude on defense. You got guys backing you up on offense. You had Kyrie Irving averaging 29 points a game. What you needed to do was check Kevin Durant, not shut him down. You're not going to shut down Kevin Durant, but you check him from 35 points a game to maybe 29 points a game. And all of a sudden now, your team's in position to win some of these games. But instead, you allow Kevin Durant to be historic.
Two things about what you just said, Robin. Well, three, actually. It's either low IQ or it's an escape plan. And the third thing that you said is if it was the Cavs, general strategy, which I thought about because I'm used to the excuse-making LeBron James fans.
Yep.
Well, if that was the general strategy, then why did Kyrie stick to Curry? Kyrie managed to get through a little bit of an obstacle in order to keep guarding Curry. If the general plan was, hey, switch as soon as there's any resistance whatsoever, then Kyrie should have switched. That's not what the Cavs were doing. It's just when LeBron has a challenge that we suddenly switch to, whatever's the easiest path for LeBron to be alleviated from responsibility.
You imagine leaving Curry for Durant. That's just crazy. And you got the GOAT on your team.
Right. Kyrie's supposed to leave Curry for Durant. That makes a shitload of sense.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm sure he's not tired from handling the ball. He's not tired from handling the ball and going through screens and orchestrating the offense. Now he has to guard these two juggernauts.
Let's look at that freeze frame. Look at this still shot. You got Kyrie Irving looking like he's guarding three players by himself. Yeah. That's what it looks like. Because like you mentioned, Kevin Love is putting himself in a help defender situation so that LeBron James can slide through and stick to Kevin Durant. But look at LeBron. See, when I mentioned LeBron James picking and choosing his spots on defense, there's a classic case of LeBron James not doing a damn thing. He didn't play man on ball D. He didn't play team defense. He didn't play help defense. All three aspects of defense, LeBron James decided to play zero of those aspects.
Nemo LA says, look at the defensive stance by LeBron. Yeah, his legs are crossed. You're not supposed to do that. He's just kind of sauntering around. Poor Kevin.
Looks like he's bitching about something.
I mean, the best thing Kevin Love could do was fall into a help defense situation because on the fly, he had to be like, what do we do with this broken play?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, LeBron James didn't even go left out of the court, man. Come on.
So, yet another layup.
Real quick, AOH, Jim, or one of you guys, maybe you can help me out here. How did Kevin Love end up on Curry in 2016 in that last possession where he played great one-on-one defense?
No. They said a screen.
Was it a screen? Who was on the other side of that screen?
It wasn't.
I'm trying to remember. Because Kevin Love played the best. His one-on-one defense was amazing, and he never gets credit for it. Never gets credit for that possession, ever.
His rebounding, too.
Right. Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that. Yeah.
And apparently he was shooting an insane three-point percentage. Now, nobody's shooting an insane three-point percentage so far in this game. So I have yet to see the good shooting come.
Bill Wennington. Yeah.
Bill Wennington. Love went Bill Wennington, and Richard Jefferson joins the show. Says
I guess they're calling me Bill Wennington. I can live with that.
Oh, that's funny. That's good. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, the real Siberius with another super. Go ahead, Robin.
Yeah, once again, shout out to the real Siberius. LeBron often goes from possibly guarding someone to obviously guarding no one. He's clearly ducking the competition.
This is what I'm saying when I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm trying to think, okay, maybe I don't get it. You know, I actually try to think this from all the angles, and I'm like, but he went from maybe to absolutely no.
Yep.
He didn't improve the situation. And if you have a high basketball IQ, you find a way to see a problem coming and improve the situation. The situation always gets worse with his decisions.
And I want everyone to remember what AOH said leading into that play. AOH said, I've only gotten to the first quarter because there are too many plays. This is not a one-off, guys. When we talk about LeBron James doing this is not a one-off in the 2017 NBA Finals, guys. I'm telling you right now, and my man AOH is going to highlight this stuff when he drops his next video, man. This is what he was doing in all of the games, in the scenarios that would keep coming and up. He would not guard Kevin Durant.
No, and he's effing up on defense all the time. It's interesting that nobody, maybe somebody has. I shouldn't say nobody. There's probably some other small YouTube channels. The indomitable LeBron was one that finally gave up because, calling out LeBron James won't get you anywhere. So he probably finally gave up. He doesn't make videos anymore. But like he is bad on defense all the time. Mm-hmm. And then he gets that chase down block and no one even thinks to look at whether or not he was actually a good defender.
Can I just use that to raise what I think is an interesting point? The man makes upwards of $50 million a year and has never been asked to evolve his basketball game in any way, shape, or form in easily the last 12 to 15 years. He has, and that's up to and including his free throw shooting, which I think at its peak was 75%, something like that. He's never been asked to evolve any part of his offensive or defensive game, yet he's considered, how he's considered.
He can't fit that into all of his good off court things that he's doing. It's philanthropic,
right?
Working, going to China to pretend that somebody still likes him, and then shooting up a brick fest.
LeBron James asked for max money, but he ain't giving max effort.
Exactly.
Not even close. That's the best way to sum up what I'm trying to say. More and more money every year to do less and less and have less of an impact on the team every year. In what other industry is anybody allowed to do that?
Yo, Speed, it's so true, man. My man got paid, whatever he got, $43 million this year, and he was a negative in the plus minus. He got max money to be negative.
It's nuts.
Crazy.
And second team All NBA.
Yeah, number 6 for MVP.
Strive for greatness.
4th in the entire league, according to SAS.
That's insanity, right, man. And look, I don't care if none of us played in the NBA. I mean, a junior high kid could see this play, tell you what's wrong with it. It's got nothing to do with it.
Yep.
I don't think.
Yeah, but
I tell you right the hell now, you put me out there in China, you put me on the court, I take 11 shots, I'm making at least one. I'm telling you right the hell now, I'm making at least one damn shot. I'm not in the NBA, I never would have been. I will make at least one damn shot of 11 shots, man. I'm telling you right now.
Robin's gonna ball on them Chinese goofs.
I ain't airballing 3 shots and hitting the backboard on another 2.
Chinese fools and Chinese goofs.
I can't dunk no more. I'll make at least one.
That's the one that LeBron made. He finally switched to a really goofy 2-handed dunk that the crowd gave him the pity applause for. Or maybe they were really impressed. I'm very confused.
That man switched to left-handed shots. It got so awkward and cringe out there after he missed the first 6 or 7 shots in a row. This man just started throwing up some left-handed weird shots because it was getting awkward out there, like he's just playing it off.
Thank you.
Should have faked an injury.
Just about to. We went so far off from my just one play. I think we covered it. I mean, I think we can see how bad LeBron's defense was. I'll move on from that. I really got to thinking how first you put in the effort and then you're like fucking up and then let's play it off like I wasn't taking it seriously. And we all know people like that who, when they see that they're getting beaten, they're like, oh, I'm just, let me check my phone. And I'm not really playing defense against you. I'm like, yeah, it's because I'm beating the shit out of you.
Exactly.
But yeah, go and pretend like you weren't engaged.
Yep.
I mean, a true competitor would have kept shooting until they made at least one. I would have got the goal and I made one.
I saw it ask about, somebody asked about, make sure they read their super chats. I didn't catch the name though.
Well, here's Mike Lowry. And hey, Mike, I'm still waiting for an email from you, Mr. Lowry. At this point, his teammates and coaches should understand his defensive deficiencies. We've all had these type of teammates, ain't they professionals? I got to tell you, that's one that's hard to explain because it doesn't make sense. It goes along with the question of whether or not they watch film. It's like, what does everybody pretend that they can't see these things? Hey, we started asking this question: do they watch film during LeBron's time with the Lakers? But we can now see that you can apply that question to his entire career. And I'll tell you one thing that might help that's not featured in this video is the non-stop mother effing glazing coming from the announcers of the game. Mm-hmm. If you're not watching with a critical eye and you just listen to what you're being told, you might start thinking you're seeing something that you're not seeing. Mark Jackson, Van Gundy, and Green.
Reggie Miller.
No, he wasn't doing it for this. Whoever the third guy was, the one who's not the color, the color commentator, as they call it. Let me just pause for Speem to slowly put that together into a race joke.
No. I honestly, I was waiting for somebody else to do it. I was waiting for someone else to do it. But since you want to softball it in there, I was waiting. I was like, he's gonna say colored. I know it. It's gonna slip. It's gonna come out.
We're gonna have to change color commentator. But those guys,
fuck you, man. Whatever.
Van Gundy and Jackson are bringing the flavor. If we want to say something else, and then the
just
other guy
go back to color. It says worse. It sounds worse when you say flavor. Just say color.
I give up. Thank you, Mike Lowry, for the super.
Just say minority. Just say minority like you want to.
I mean, yo, think about where we are right now in society, man. You can't even find Aunt Jemima anymore. Aunt Jemima's gone. Aunt Jemima gone, man. You can't even bring up Aunt Jemima no more. This is where we are in the world, man. We just think about how jacked up that is. I love the Aunt Jemima syrup. Are you kidding me? And now you can't have Aunt Jemima anymore. They get rid of this nonsense. You know what's funny, man? I remember last year, me and my wife, we were looking at our houses, right? It's my first time looking for a house. right? So, you know, it was a big deal for us. It was a really serious thing, right? So we took it really serious. And I remember we're looking at houses, man, and we're doing all this research, man, and we're going through this process, and it's exciting and all this stuff, man. And I remember at one point I said to my wife, yeah, you know, how many, does it have, you know, what does a master bedroom look like? How big is the master bedroom? You know, does it have a bathroom inside the master bedroom? And my wife tells me all of a sudden, you can't say master bedroom anymore. And I was like, wait a second, what? I thought she was joking. She said, no, they don't call it a master bedroom. They call it a primary bedroom now because God forbid it might make some people think about slaves or something. I don't know what the hell people are thinking about.
Man.
So all of a sudden, my wife tells me, you can't say master bedroom anymore. You have to call it a primary. I almost lost my mind. This is the most insane crap in the world. Bring back Aunt Jemima, damn it! Bring back the master bedroom.
Oh boy.
The master bedroom podcast is 1,000% what I'm naming one day. The master bedroom podcast.
Oh,
you
like
have
that.
to. Yeah.
I'm telling you,
please don't tell me how you like stuff.
Well, the human race.
Where'd Jim go?
He only has a little bit of a window from his family that he can do with us. So he brings his segment, and then he was still in this second segment. Let me read Roland Curtis, or actually go ahead. You always do a better job than me. Oh, Jim is here.
Crawford easily beat the face of boxing last night in Canelo Alvarez. Max Kellerman and others are calling Crawford the MJ of this era. Yo, shots to Crawford. Top athletes are not called the LeBron of because this is an insult. Abdul, great point by Roland Curtis, man. Thank you very much by bringing that up. Michael Jordan, the Crawford, the comparisons. Thank you very much.
But you know what they do that I find, and Stacey King was one of them, but he's not the only one who starts referencing the Mount Rushmore. And it's like, how many people do you think is on the Mount Rushmore? They start as a default, you know, kind of like Stephen A. Smith always says, oh, LeBron's definitely my number 2. Blah, blah, blah. Then other people are like, oh, LeBron's definitely on the Mount Rushmore. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
And well, isn't that in a way kind of, isn't that hedging your bet? Go ahead. I'll wait. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
One guy said the Mount Rushmore of athletes, which makes it even more preposterous.
Of athletes?
It's 4 fucking people.
No way. No way. In all sports, absolutely not.
No.
He's like, oh, he may not be the GOAT of basketball, but he's the Mount Rushmore of athletes. How many sports are there?
Yeah, but you know what? That's just that's just hedging your bet. That's just making it where you can still praise LeBron and not have to worry about being blackballed. Because in reality, I feel like most professionals would say, is he good? Yeah. Is he top 5? Is he top 10? Maybe, but everyone. So they just generalize and they say, well, he's on the Mount Rushmore. He's one of the greats because that's easier and safer to say. But it's just a bitch way of saying, like, yeah, I think he's great. I'm too scared to say otherwise. That's all that is.
He's not even on the second Mount Rushmore. No way.
Right.
He wouldn't even be in the second one.
Yo, for real. Yo, people we have to remember, man. When these guys are saying this Mount Rushmore nonsense, they're just thinking about a basketball resume and some stats. That's not what Mount Rushmore's about. That's not a top 4 ranking or the top 4 greatest athletes. That's not what it's about. It's also about your icon, about your impact on the sport, man. What you meant also to culture when you're talking about across all sports. He's not up there with the Muhammad Ali's, the Michael Jordans, the Wayne Gretzky's, the Babe Ruths. No. Man, come on, man.
Yeah,
the Willie Mays. Come on, you're not on the level with these guys, man. Jim Brown. Come on, Jim Thorpe. Some of these great athletes that played, man. Come on, stop it, man.
All right, I'm gonna. Yeah,
how about Walter Payton? I mean, his impact. Was gigantic.
Give me your Mount Rushmore of athletes. I know I'm putting everyone on the spot. If anyone
is he up there with Pele?
Yeah, there you go.
Pele's a good one.
Yes, but I don't know. I'd go.
Do we need?
I'd probably go Muhammad Ali, Babe Ruth, Walter Payton,
now.
Michael Jordan. That's my 4.
Okay.
And Bruce Lee, if I could throw him in there, if you consider him an athlete, I'd probably put him on.
Oh man, Bruce Lee, damn, see, Jim, you don't. Oh man, see, it gets crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, you'd have to bump somebody. You'd have to bump somebody pretty awesome off to put him on. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
like I
you
said,
don't.
The point. That's why LeBron
You don't have
James
Tiger
is not
Woods on your
close to
Mount
those
Rushmore?
guys.
no,
You don't have Tiger Woods on your Mount Rushmore?
I don't even have Wayne Gretzky on it either. I got Babe Ruth.
Jeez.
I got Michael Jordan, Walter Payton. I mean, I don't know. That's pretty good right there, don't you think? And then probably Bruce Lee. That'd be my 4.
Damn,
Because
man.
how is Bruce Lee not an athlete?
Yeah, I know. He is an athlete. Absolutely.
You know what, man? I'm going Jordan, Ali, Gretzky, and Jim Brown, man.
Gretzky and Jordan, Ali, Gretzky,
Wayne Gretzky and Jim Brown.
and Jim Brown.
I'm not a hockey guy. I don't know hockey like that. I do know that Wayne Gretzky's name was always being talked about when I was growing up, man.
Yeah,
this
true.
man was always talked about. I remember Joe Montana a lot too, man. Joe Montana's name was always being mentioned. You know, like I said, Walter Payton. You know, I remember Walter Payton was one of my favorite players, you know, because I was a running back. And I remember reading something about Walter Payton that when he first touched the football, when he was on varsity in high school, he scored a touchdown, his first carry in high school. And my first carry in high school on varsity, I scored a touchdown. And I immediately thought of Walter Payton in that moment, man. So like my man Jim said, man, Walter Payton, when you talk about Walter Payton, it wasn't just that he was a great football player. He was a great man. They have an award, the Walter Payton Award, for a reason. That's what being a Mount Rushmore guy is. It's about more than just your game. It's about your character.
No doubt about it.
Somebody says, geez, where is it? Oh, somebody said Usain Bolt, and this is just interesting. It doesn't matter what I think about Bolt. When you're talking about the Mount Rushmore of athletes, I start to feel like if you are simply fast, that's going to diminish you. I mean, it's great. It's quite an accomplishment, but like in terms of athletes, I got to admit,
are you saying that's like a deterrent?
I guess I feel like maybe it's just my inclination toward team sports. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
I was really on the fence with Jim Thorpe, putting Jim Thorpe in my lineup and maybe taking Wayne Gretzky out. But like I said, when I was growing up, Wayne Gretzky was that dude. But Jim Thorpe, everything that I've learned about Jim Thorpe and what he could do, we know about the Olympic performances, but just being an all-around sport and athlete, I mean, Jim Thorpe was sensational. Some of the legendary stories that I've, read and learned from someone like Jim Thorpe, man. Carl Lewis, was another great athlete when I was growing up.
Yeah, but you have to take into consideration how they're an ambassador for the sport too, though.
We didn't mention Jesse Owens.
Right. I agree.
We didn't mention him.
Yeah, Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods was the one I came up with because he's not considered, in the same class, quote unquote, as athlete, but he ran a sport for the length of some people's lifetimes.
Yeah, it's definitely mostly about how I feel about that sport. And Walter Payton got my vote probably because of my age and the inspiration he gave me watching the Crunch Course videos. But can I say, but how do I not acknowledge Bo Jackson's abilities?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He's not even human.
Jesse Owens ran track in front of Adolf Hitler. Think about that.
Word.
He did.
Yeah. And I mean, did they they're not, I'm assuming that they're not faking history where in order to not get called for a fault, they actually had him jump from before the fault line, well before it. I saw that.
I'm not familiar with this.
Okay. Well,
he was racing horses, man. Jesse Owens, man. This is what these guys had to do back in the days, man. Because guys were trying to make ends meet.
Yeah.
Racing, not raising. No.
Racing horses.
Yeah, racing.
Like he was racing a horse, not him on horses.
Well, we got Jokic. We got Jokic raising horses, and we got Owens racing horses. So.
I mean, you know what's crazy? A lot of people have mentioned some really great athletes in the comment section. Shout out to all you guys and the names that you guys have been mentioning. The point that we're highlighting here that you're seeing is that if you think about it, do you guys think that LeBron James belongs in the conversation with any of those guys? If we're talking about all of sports. Exactly.
He's not on the entire mountain goddamn range. Put a face on
not one person in this room mentioned Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's the only athlete that I hear mentioned in GOAT conversation with LeBron James, and he surpassed LeBron a decade ago, maybe 15 years ago, and not one person mentioned him. That's how far removed LeBron is from the Mount Rushmore. You can name a whole Tom Brady, 7 rings, and you're still not even touching this conversation.
I got to read Thanos Snap Feminism because
great point, Speem.
I'm gonna go, you guys. Just enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you back next week.
Yeah, thanks, Jim, for real, man.
Yep. See you guys.
See you, Jim.
Geez, this is deep. This is a show by itself. I mean, it's amazing that someone like LeBron can not only have his career continue after these things, but other people's careers actually are the ones that are negatively affected because they have the nerve to call him out for being deficient defensively. No. And it's not him. It's not LeBron who suffered. It's them. I mean, how crazy is that? David Blatt, Dwight Howard, and Kyle Kuzma are the reason why no one calls LeBron out on defense. One called him out, and one said, LeBron, stop acting like a bitch, and one gave the push, and Mario Chalmers called him out in Miami. Yep. So the list goes on. And listen, it's not people that are picking on LeBron for no fucking reason. They understand that there are consequences to their actions, but they've seen enough. It's like, God damn, dude, start acting like the person you're supposed to be.
Yep. This is the person he's supposed to be. This isn't who he's supposed to be, though.
Huh?
This is who he's supposed to be. That's the problem.
No, not according to the media.
Right.
Who he's supposed to be is perfect on defense and perfect on offense and defeated all the rivals and crumpled all the idols and all the other bullshit.
Stupid commercial.
The weight on his shoulders.
Yeah. No, like you said, AOH, that's who they're trying to tell us he is. They're trying to say he's a Mount Rushmore type of guy. But the reality, he's not. He was never a Mount Rushmore type player. LeBron James is an all-time great. All-time great. No one's ever denied this. But the problem is they keep trying to promote LeBron James to be something that he is not. So remember, Tom Brady, we laughed how Tom Brady mentioned all these great athletes, but never mentioned LeBron James when he was mentioning GOATs of other sports. And I'm laughing now, reading off the comments of all the players that you guys are mentioning. You're mentioning legit all-time great players that transcended their sport, right? Guys that impacted culture, right? That did things, that carried themselves a certain way. LeBron James, he ain't never been of that ilk, just hasn't.
I can't say that I would ever think of Kyle Kuzma when I think of people that I would say have balls. But it was pretty ballsy to shove LeBron into defense.
It was.
You see how that man dresses? He dresses like one of them demons from Hellraiser. You think he doesn't have the balls to push LeBron out on defense?
I don't know.
He's nuts.
Did he come
crazy.
to one of those games in like an airbag or something?
He's crazy. Yeah, he's like not even human, Kyle Kuzma.
Some weird-ass dudes out here, man. Yeah, shout out to Lawrence Taylor. Dana Green, shout out. That's right, Lawrence Taylor.
I mean, not to take away from Lawrence, but Jesus, think of all the NFL players that you have to knock off the list to put him above them.
Right. But once again, see, the problem for someone like Lawrence Taylor, and this is what we've mentioned before, as great as he was in the game changer, the things that he meant to the sport of football, what he meant to that position, what he meant to the Giants, man, all this stuff. When we talk about being an icon and being a Mount Rushmore type person, your character, right? How you carry yourself, all these things come into play. So like you mentioned, Lawrence Taylor can't shine the shoes of someone like Walter Payton in that regard. They're not going to have a Lawrence Taylor award based off of you being a great individual, a great human being, because we know Lawrence Taylor's had his demons and had his personal issues. When you talk about guys like Jerry Rice, you talk about the Joe Montanas. I mentioned Jim Brown. I mentioned guys like Jim Thorpe. When you talk about some of the great, like you mentioned football players, these guys carry themselves to a degree, to a level that's really unmatched by very few people. That's what makes them special. Not everyone can carry themselves this way. That's why someone like Walter Payton is given an award. It's not easy to be those things. When I preach integrity, honor, class, and earning respect, it's not because I'm perfect and that I never do or, do things a certain way. It's that I try to follow those things. So in my life, I make a lot of decisions based off of integrity. What would someone with integrity do in this situation? What would an honorable thing for me be? What would I do to be honorable in these scenarios? This is what I think about. Doesn't mean I'm perfect or I'm better than anyone else. But these people, these human beings, these guys that we brought up, they were great people, not just great athletes. That's what Mount Rushmore is.
Hey, how many Super Bowl rings does Barry Sanders have? Let me ask you. 0, right? And how many people put him like he was barely mentioned in this conversation, and I'll still hold him higher than just about, well, not most of the people that we've talked about, certainly a LeBron James and certainly any active NBA player right now. Dude's never won anything. Ever.
See, you know what's interesting, Speed? You brought up Barry Sanders, and that's interesting to me because someone like Barry Sanders, when we talk about being a Mount Rushmore guy and being like an icon and having that impact, the problem for Barry Sanders is that he didn't have that kind of personality. He shied away from the fame. He was, one of the most humble superstars in the history of sports. When Barry Sanders will break for an 80-yard touchdown run and just hand the ball to the referee like it's no big deal. That's what we always admired about Barry Sanders. So someone like Barry Sanders is not going to be a vocal person like that or be out there, you know what I'm saying, to have the impact like some of the other guys that we mentioned. But his game spoke volumes. And like you said, he didn't have to brag and boast about his skills.
This is a sad part about society. I've asked before, it's like, oh, so do the guys that we used to respect because they were humble and kept their mouths shut and let their game speak for them, they're kind of getting left behind because of this infatuation with the mouthy showboaters who aren't embarrassed to self-declare themselves their own greatness. And
great topic.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to down spiral into society's collapse with that one. Which Speem and I might do a side channel on this topic.
There's more content with that than anything else.
Yeah.
For real, yeah. That'll definitely get traction.
Guys, it's nearly noon, and Robin needs to go to see the Giants' only win of the season.
Well, 13-10, and the second half just started.
Speem, thanks for being here. Sports
Absolutely.
and Fitness,
thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Once again, shout out to everybody in the chat for coming through. The Zarda video footage, thank you. Yo, Speed, man, it's great to see you again, man. Thank you for bringing what you brought to the show today, man. It was really great stuff today, man. Thank you very much. You guys know the deal, man. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
All right, everybody. Out.